Well, here we go then. First proper workout in over 2 weeks. And we have this. Thankfully, the trail we're about to run on is a little bit less covered in snow, but it's going to be an interesting one this morning. Let me explain what we have on the cards. It's just a simple 10 by 90 seconds on, 1 minute off. A fartlek session. I did 20 by 1 on 1 off over 3 weeks ago now, and I'm excited to get back out here and do another fartlek. I've decided not to progress it and try and take the volume to the same amount of what I did before, just because I've had, well, it will be 2 weeks and 1 day since I've done a proper official structured workout. Last week I did do 5 by 1 minute on, 1 minute off up a hill, and then I also did just an 8-minute hill push, but the rest of the week was easy. So literally this is the first proper structure, and I'm excited to get back into it because my new training block starts next week. So the plan of attack today, be cautious, but we're just going to go out there and get 15 minutes worth of work done. That's it, nothing more, and I will take this cautiously, as I said. And I think tomorrow is going to be a treadmill day. This is the first fresh snow we had. We had it last night, but it didn't particularly freeze, and we've had more fresh snow this morning, so nothing is particularly icy at this stage, but we are expecting freezing temperatures again tonight. So if this does not clear, we will be treadmilling it tomorrow for sure. And finally, before we get this one underway, I'm debuting the COROS Pace Pro for a workout. So it had a race debut on the weekend, and its first proper debut was on Friday's easy run, just testing it out, and already I've noticed a couple of things. I'll mention those at the end as to what I'm enjoying on this one from the upgrade from the Pace 3. To be perfectly honest with you, the Pace 3 has been a revelation for me out here on the trails, having solid GPS and such a good watch, a great user interface, and to be honest with you, a much better app than Garmin's. I've got to be honest, I'm loving the app more than anything, to be honest with you. This thing is taking it to the next level. Really excited to share a little bit about that, but the most important thing today is to get this workout done and see how we feel ready for Monday when we kickstart proper training again. Okay, here we go. Safe speed. We don't need to break a neck today. Let's go, let's resume, and then let's hit lap. Here we go. Okay, so that's 6 out of the 10. I've been an idiot. I created the workout, exported it to the watch, got out the door, and just went to the normal run option rather than selecting the workout. So I went through all of that setup for nothing. Manual lapping it is. 4 to go. All good so far. Last one. There we go. Back with a bang. That felt good. Great to come out here and get it done on these snowy trails. So grateful. Definitely treadmill tomorrow when all this freezes. But yeah, lovely and runnable when the snow disappeared on the trail. Quite firm. But naturally the second you got on the snow it was a little bit less grippy underfoot, although I would say I didn't slip or slide once. It felt good. It's only a very light dusting really, and yeah, overall a really good workout. Classic GoPro died right at the last bit there, but either way, it was a really good workout. Grateful the camera lasted to capture all of it. Wonderful out there this morning. So grateful. The sun has been shining today. We'll see how much is melted tomorrow. As I said, we'll hop on the treadmill if we need to. Now, that sets us up nicely for next week's week 1 of the training series. And before I give you more info on that, let me just mention those couple of things that I've really been impressed with the Pace Pro. A quick quick disclaimer, this is a watch that was sent to me for the purpose of review and testing, but this is not a sponsored video, and what I want to do is give you 3 things that I've noticed a big difference on from the Pace 3 now to this one here. I could obviously read you a spec list, but that's not interesting to you. You guys can go and do that. I think real world experience is important here, and the 3 things are the AMOLED screen. That's an obvious one. The screen on this is fantastic, such a good upgrade from my previous watch. If you've watched some of my old videos, you'll know it was very much like a very old school digital dial. This was brilliant. The AMOLED screen now takes that to another level, and I really have noticed that. It's been great to use that in the race, and then on today's workout in particular, it was really, really welcome. Instant pace response. I say instant, a much improved pace response. So when I would start a run, even if I was just starting an easy run, I'd literally watch the pace go from like 10-minute miles down to 9, and then sort of settle at 8, 7 where I was actually running, but it would take a fair few seconds to get there. So it felt like there was a little bit of a lag there. This is now pretty much instantaneous, and it feels that way. I noticed that when I literally start my run, it's pretty much on point with the pace. I noticed that again today with the reps. When I hit lap, I was instantly around the 5:20, 10:30 mark, and it was really good to kind of have like a constant hover around the right pace. So that was really, really noticeable. And just a general user interface, if I press the button and just scroll through there, it's such a smooth feeling when you're going through, and you notice kind of it's more of a smoother transition than from the Pace 3. It really does feel kind of like a good upgrade in the whole general way that the watch works. And of course, one of the biggest things I got excited about when they reached out and originally sent me the Pace 3 was just having some decent GPS data. You guys know, running out in the forest, it's an absolute nightmare. So when I started using the Pace 3, it was just wonderful to have such accurate data out there without having to worry about losing signal. This is no different. I'll quickly throw up on screen today's map. A zoomed out version, you can see those 2 lines because I did an out and back just to show you guys how tight the lines were together, and I'll show you a quick zoomed in one. You can see, and that was really zoomed in, you can see just how tight those lines are to the trail. It's using the dual band setting, so that's, I believe, the most accurate setting, and yeah, it's been absolutely brilliant. And I will just quickly shout out Nick from the Run Testers at this point. If you want to see a bit more of a deeper dive in a comparison video, Nick did a brilliant 10k the other day in the city of Paris. Very twisty turny. He ran very close to a PB, I believe, and was testing a couple of watches, including this one. And I believe this came out on top in pretty much all of the tests.
I wasn't running very tight lines. I probably was running a bit further than 10k. I think that's probably the more accurate overall distance from COROS there, and it was certainly closer to the markers each kilometre than the Garmin throughout the race.
So that was a great one to go and watch. If you want to see something a little bit more technical and a little bit more in depth, I'll make sure I leave a link to that video below. So on to the training. How did that feel? Am I ready for next week? Well, I guess we're just going to have to find out. We'll be easing into things, but I am excited to get back into some structure now. Today was just refreshing. The new at 9 on the weekend was a great race for me just to go and literally just burn some rubber and have a good time. Quick recap. Abingdon Marathon, week off, 5k TT the week after, just to kind of get back into things and see where I was. Everything felt grand. The week after that on the Tuesday, started to try and get back into training and just bailed on the first session. Didn't feel good at all. Energy just kind of drained from my body. Hips started to sag, form went. I just thought, this isn't it. I was really working way too hard. Even though the splits were really good and the heart rate was relatively decent in myself, I just felt crap, to be honest with you. So I sacked that off, ran easy for the rest of the week. And last week, I pretty much ran easy for the majority of the week. I literally threw in 2 very small workouts. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, 13 minutes of intensity in that whole week, and was saving myself for the Nuant 9. This week is absolutely no different, although we have just done today's workout. The rest of the runs this week are going to be easy pretty much, and I'm very excited to then get into some structure next week and start getting the body feeling good again. Now, this training series is going to be scattered with a few races, but they don't start until the end of December. So what that's going to allow me to do is kind of have a calm start, really get some good training under my belt, 4 or 5 weeks of good training, find that rhythm again, allow me to get into that groove. And then in the second half of the block, as I said, we're going to have 3 or 4 races coming thick and fast, which I'm really, really excited about. I just want to race, and that's going to be the priority for me going into the early part of next year. And then of course, peaking in February for the goal race. Now, disclaimer, the goal race will be paid by myself. I was was and alluded to the fact that I managed to get myself a Barcelona half marathon ticket. But also off the back of that, I did say we had other options and we are still scoping those out. So we haven't yet confirmed if we're doing Barcelona or not. We have kind of put a reservation where we haven't had to pay anything on an apartment, but we've also done one in Alicante as well, because that is on the same weekend. And we're just now looking at it as potentially a family holiday afterwards, because after the 12-week block, I will take some downtime after that race. My kids go into half term, so we can actually use it as a holiday as well. So I am really excited to go out to wherever it might be, and it just comes down to sitting down and working out which is probably going to be the better place to holiday. So that's the other option at the moment. We are pretty much not going to be doing the UK race, so we should in theory be heading out to Spain, all being well, and I am really excited to get this one underway. So there we go, guys, excited now to get cracking on this. Wanted to give you an update on the Pace Pro, give you a little bit more of my feedback on that as we go into the training block. I'll be using this throughout the training block, and I'm very, very excited. And then of course how I'm feeling leading into next week, ready to kickstart things. I've got to be honest, I've been very relaxed over the last few weeks and it has been really, really enjoyable. But mentally, I am now absolutely chomping at the bit to get going again, and I can't wait to lace up and start getting some regular workouts under my belt. We'll start small and we'll build up as we go through the block. So that's it from me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do consider giving it a like, share it with your friends, and of course subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and I'll see you on the next one.